So, human military guys were serving as crew members aboard a giant UFO that was bigger on the inside than the outside. This is crazy. This is the Terry Lovelace story. Get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like, please subscribe, and smash the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. I would love to see you guys there. And of course, comment on the story and let me know what you think. Now, I've been a fan of the channel Through the Glass Darkly for a while now. A great channel. Sean does terrific interviews with really fascinating guests. And recently he had Terry Lovelace on. Now, I love Terry Lovelace and his story, particularly because it's vetted by Lou Elizondo. Or more precisely, Lou has said that Terry Lovelace is credible. And he said that in the context of Terry Lovelace's story. Terry's a military guy, and he had this amazing encounter where he and his buddy were brought aboard a giant UFO, and he saw military guys aboard the UFO. Lou said Terry was credible, and he has, in this interview, if you go and watch the full interview, and I'll link to that below, I encourage you to do it because it's a terrific interview, and Sean also has a follow-up interview with Terry coming up soon. Well, in this interview, Terry says he just spent a few days with Lou Elizondo and a couple other heavyweights. That's right, Lou and Terry have an ongoing friendship and relationship, and so Lou believes in him. And in this story, one would assume, otherwise he probably wouldn't be hanging out with Terry. But Terry's story is extremely important because of people like Lou and others verifying his character. So what is his story? Well, again, I encourage you to listen to the full interview. It's really great. I've listened to multiple interviews with Terry, but in this particular interview, Sean does a great job of really pressing Terry for information about the humans that were aboard this giant UFO alongside the beings. And he gets some really interesting information out of Terry. So let's talk about it. First, let me show you the clip.
Well, tell me more about the memory of these people in the kind of the khaki, is it khaki or tan uniforms with orange patches?
Yeah, there were, I recall 7. It could have been 6. It's 6 or 7. They were young people, our age, 18 to 22, I'm guessing, military-style haircuts. All of them were Caucasian, with the exception of there was one woman who was short in stature, who appeared to be Latino, Hispanic in ethnicity. And they looked, now they wouldn't look at us. They completely ignored us, but they absolutely, positively looked like human beings. And the fact that I focused on their combat boots. They're a fair distance away. So, a black boot is a black boot. But I think they were wearing the same boots I was wearing.
What were they doing?
They were in like a single file line, and I could not hear them, but they were kind of conversing in whispers, and they walked up to a panel that was sideways. So where I was at, I was facing in this direction. I could see them walk up to it in a line and kind of gather around it and do things like pushing buttons and then turn around and walk away. There's no doubt in my mind they were crew members. They carried themselves like they were members of the crew. They didn't carry themselves like anything but. They were absolutely, no doubt
like
in
medics
my mind.
Or medical personnel or anything like that. They were like people helping to fly something.
Yes. Yes, I believe that.
Boom! There you have it. Human military. American by the sound of it, wearing the same boots he was, same complexion more or less. They were serving as crew members aboard an alien vessel. Or non-human vessel. Humans were serving aboard this vessel as crew members, pushing buttons, having some sort of role that was not just as cargo or as subjects or, learning something, being taught by the being something. They were actually engaged with the ship itself. That's huge. I have talked many times on this channel about how the U.S. government and other governments as well are directly interacting with the beings and have for decades. And this is just one of many stories that corroborate that. But this is one of the best because Terry Lovelace is such a credible guy. And we have other credible guys like Lou Elizondo confirming that. So, yeah. The beings are working with, the control group, whatever you want to call it. Whatever subset of the military is working with this clandestine set of operations that are working with the phenomenon directly. And of course, it's not just the military, it's private contractors. I'm sure it has tentacles all over. I recently made a video about a Lockheed Martin Skunk Works engineer who in the 60s helped develop the SR-71 Blackbird. And he had buddies at Skunk Works that were working with the beings, helping humans develop a training device so that humans could learn how to fly UFOs. And here in Terry's story, a couple of decades later, we have humans flying UFOs. There are other reported incidents of humans flying on their own without any aliens or non-humans present. But in this case, it was a giant UFO that was vastly large and even larger on the inside than the outside, like some serious Doctor Who kind of stuff. And, there's probably a lot of beings. Terry said there were over 50 military guys. I don't think he gives a number in this particular interview, but in other prior interviews, he has said there were over 50 military guys aboard this UFO. So a substantial human presence. So what are we talking about? Are we talking secret space fleet here? Are we talking the Gary McKinnon kind of stuff? I don't know. Maybe some sort of blend of, the more mundane explanations. We're just, tinkering with some technology and reverse engineer it. And maybe we've had a couple of communications to the full-on secret space fleet. Maybe it's some blend of those two. We are working with them. We are aboard ships with them. We do have our own ships. But maybe there aren't giant vessels floating in space with millions of beings going to distant systems, and we're engaging in wars on their behalf. That's the whole secret space fleet idea. So, maybe it's not quite that fantastic, but it's pretty fantastic. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. I think this is a gangbuster story. Again, I encourage you to go watch the full interview, link below. And there are so many accounts by experiencers, abductees, or contactees who have been taken by the beings to various locales. Sometimes it's kind of hard for them to describe. Some say it's a ship, some say it's a cavern somewhere. Maybe both are true. And in some of these cases, in fact, a good number of them, they see what looks like U.S. government officials and military working alongside the beings. This is actually not uncommon at all. This is fairly common, not to be confused with the MyLab situations, which is the military abductions. And those seem to be a different phenomenon where the military is abducting people that have been abducted by the beings. And they are interrogating the abductees, seemingly to discover information about the technology the beings display in what they are doing. But the weird thing is the military guys carrying out these military abductions use a lot of the same techniques and some of the same technology that the beings use in their own abductions. So are they working with the beings? Are they part of this control group operation? The military guys that Terry was, seeing aboard the ship? Because I have always kind of thought that maybe the MyLabs guys were opposed to the control group in some way. One military faction against another faction, potentially. But now I'm wondering if they're all part of the same operation, and because they do have some of the same technology and techniques So it makes sense that they would have been taught by the beings. So, if they're working with the beings, simplest explanation may be the best. But why would they be abducting abductees and interrogating them about what the beings are doing? Well, perhaps because those are the enemy beings that we have been shooting at again and again. And there have been so many people talking about U.S. military engagement with UFOs, at times even seeming to bring these things down, as unlikely as that sounds. And I know that sounds unlikely, but it seems to be a thing. We are working with some beings and we are working against other beings. And there are humans directly interacting at a very high level with the phenomenon. At least that's what my research is showing me. But let me know what you guys think. And thank you, Sean, for letting me use this clip. I appreciate it. I think this is very important information to get out, that the beings in the control group, the human, military, and government, whoever they are working directly together. The guys in charge have been brainwashing the American public, and by extension the rest of the world, for over 70 years, suppressing information about UFOs, meanwhile working with them. Crazy stuff, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I would love to hear it. Please give this video a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. That'd be awesome. Smash the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. That would make my day. And of course, join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. And go check out some of my other videos. That'd be awesome. Until next time, this is Jack with Cosmic Road signing out.